What it do, what it do, what it do. Lakers crew, welcome, welcome, welcome. Here we are, Lakers over everything, Lakers over everything, Lakers over everything. Purple and gold till we die. Purple and gold, we ride. I bleed purple, my heart beats gold. It's Lakers over everything, baby. Yes, 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 let's get it. Let's go, let's go, let's get it. Really fast, I just want to get on here, do a quick little video. Of course, the Lakers have their exit interviews today. And, LeBron had his, AD had his. They were pretty positive. Didn't really put blame on anyone. It was all team friendly, right? Talked about how they weren't happy with the outcome of the season, of course. We finished the season 33 and 49, 16 games under 500. No playoffs, no play-in, none of that. So, of course, they weren't too happy with the outcome. But they chalked it up a lot. LeBron and AD pretty much chalked it up to not being healthy and not being able to be on the court, on the floor together. So it was pretty much team related with them, with LeBron and AD. But Russ, an entirely different story. So, of course, Russell Westbrook went on. He had his exit interview, and it was the total opposite, total 180 of what LeBron and AD was talking about. With him, it was more so, just let me get right to it, man. Let me read some quotes here. Let's start off with he was asked a question about his time with the Lakers. And pretty much he said, I just felt that I never, this is quote from Russell Westbrook, I just felt that I never was given a fair chance just to be who I needed to be able to help this team. And then they asked him, they kind of pressed it a little further about what he meant by that. Was he talking about on the basketball court or whatever? Exactly what he meant. And he pretty much said that, not even basketball related. He said just overall, in general, he was never given a fair chance. Like he said, he brings so much more to an organization than just what he can do on the court. He went on to talk about what he can do in the community and what he can do to build relationships and all kind of stuff. He said basketball is the smallest part of things. That's the small part. Well, bro, you came to the Lakers, bro. You came to the Lakers, and you came here to win a championship. That's what we care about. Yeah, kudos to everything you do in the community. Kudos to the man that you are, right? And this and that. But at the end of the day, if you're not winning on the court, then, we don't really care about that, bro. Not to be mean. We just don't. That's just what it is, You put on the purple and gold, we won championships. And when you're 16 games under 500, how you going to talk about building communities and talk about, working the community and building relationships and all that? So, it was just weird, bro. And he just said he was never given a fair chance. He said that the media didn't give him a fair chance here. The fans didn't give him a fair chance here. The coaches didn't give him a fair chance here. Just wow, bro. Just wow. He wasn't given a fair chance. And he said everywhere else, every other organization he's went to, he was given a fair chance, but not here with the Lakers. And then let's see. Let's talk about a little bit about the big three, Okay, this is Russ on LeBron and AD saying, let Russ be Russ. He flat out said that was a lie. He said his response was, quote again, yeah, but that wasn't true. Let's be honest. So he pretty much called that a lie. They never let Russ be Russ. And he also said that they never really sat down. They never had any conversations about, how the fit would be on the floor, never, They never had any conversations about that. Where it was rumored, it came out that before he even came here, the three of them had a conversation, at LeBron's house there in LA about, them playing together and about everyone sacrificing and playing different roles and all that stuff. But according to Russ, they never had that conversation. They never had it together. They never had it with the coaches, anything. So Russ kind of felt like You know, he was always having to fit in. You know, they never let him be himself. Um, and he was just having to fit in the entire season. They never tried to utilize his skill asset. They never tried to, let him be himself pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much flat out, straight up what he said. They never let him be himself. He said it. The whole let Russ be Russ stuff was not true. You know, that's plain out what he said. So crazy, crazy, crazy. And then let's talk about Russ and Vogel. So he was asked about Vogel, his time playing with Vogel and all that. And Russ came up with a story about how when he first got to the Lakers, they were at a team hotel or whatever, and it was Vogel and his wife's. It was their anniversary. And Russ said that he sent a bottle of champagne to Vogel. He didn't do it for any accolade. He just did it because that's just the person he is. That's what he does. And then he went on to say, so from the jump, I didn't have a problem with Vogel. And he says Vogel had a problem with me. And he said, I'm not sure. This is quote what Russ said. I'm not sure what his issue was with me. So that's what he said. He said Vogel had an issue with him. He don't know why Vogel had an issue with him. And it was just him deflecting everything, right? Putting it on everyone else. So that's just wild, bro. And then he said from the start, when he came here, he had to prove himself to Vogel. He said Vogel didn't respect what he's done in the league and who he's been in the league. And he pretty much had to prove himself to Vogel from the jump. And Vogel really never let him fit in. Vogel really never catered to the player that he was. And then Russ, he kind of made it seem like the entire season that he had to play off ball and he never had the ball in his hands. But when the season started, man, Russ had the ball in his hands a lot. He was running the point guard. He kept turning the ball over. And he was having crazy turnovers in the fourth quarters. I remember, I forget against who, but, he lost the ball, went to like the second row in the fans in the stands. And it was just little stuff that his turnovers were literally costing us games. He was having 7 turnovers, 8 turnovers, 9 turnovers, 10 turnovers. And we were losing games because of that. And then after that, like around December, when our record was bad and we was under 500 or hovering around 500, that's when LeBron came and started taking the ball out of Russ's hands. But then, even with that, LeBron missed a lot of games this year. So how was he never? I don't get it. He's just acting like his game had to change so much, and they never catered to his game or they never gave him an opportunity. And then he even went as far to talk about the Lakers Nation fan base. He said, the fan base turned on him, and he really doesn't know why, Lakers Nation turned on him. His play, nothing, not because of his play, not because of anything else. He just said he doesn't know why we turned on him or why the fan base turned on him. I don't know, man. It was just, I don't know if you guys seen the full interview, but we'll put the link to it down here as an exit interview. And it was just a lot more that was said. And it was just kind of deflecting. No self-accountability. He also said that he averaged a triple-double last year. And he said anything under that, was underperforming to him. And prior to that, he talked about sacrifice. He said he's a player who sacrifices. He's a player who sacrifices for the betterment of the team. Well, if you're a player who sacrifices, you come on a team with LeBron, you come on a team with AD, but then you say, oh, if I don't average a triple-double, then I'm underperforming or I'm underwhelming. Well, what are you sacrificing then? Like, I don't get what you're saying you sacrifice. If that's your mindset coming in that, oh, I got to get my triple dub or else I didn't do my job or else I didn't have a good game. If that's your thinking, then I don't get it, man. There was other things that you could have done, you didn't have to get a triple double. Play some defense, get a couple of steals, little things, hustle, and I'm not saying he didn't hustle because, Russ does hustle. But I don't know, man. It's just bad, really, really bad. The interview was really, really bad, man, and it went so far to even say, they asked them, they were like, well, if you were never understood here, you were never given a fair chance here, you weren't liked here or received here, then why would you want to come back here? They asked him that. And his response to that, well, it's not up to me if I'm come back or not. It's up to the front office, this and that, this and that. And then they asked him about, was he going to opt into his $47 million, his $47 million player option? Was he going to opt in? And he said, what did he say? He said, oh, it's a player option, so it's up to me, right? He said, I'll make that decision. That's why it's called a player option. That was his response. And then he wants to know why the media doesn't like him or why the media pushes back and why he's bumped heads so much with the media. It's just his attitude, his demeanor. And he tried to even say about that. He said the LA media made up all these false narratives about him. And he said he has to fight against all these fake stories every single day, every single night. He says that took away from him, playing on the basketball court well, because every day he's having to fight against the media, the LA media. With this fake news and this fake news and that fake news, he's just having to fight against all this stuff. So it was wild, man. It was wild. I mean, he called out Vogel, the coaching staff. He pretty much called LeBron and AD liars about, about them saying, let Russ be Russ. Boy. The LA fan base, Lakers Nation, he called out us, He said he doesn't know why we turned on him or why we booed him. And then, of course, we had all that Westbrook stuff, all that. Just absolutely no accountability. The only accountability that he took was that he did say, he didn't have the season that he wanted to have. But then later on, he followed that up by basing that on triple-double, averaging a triple-double. Like, that's the standard. If you don't get a triple-double, it's not a good season. It's not a good game. So if you did average a triple-double this year and we were still in the same predicament, then what? You consider that a good year? So, I don't know. It was tough to watch. You could just tell he was annoyed. You could tell he didn't want to be there or answer the questions. And a lot of them he didn't answer. He just kind of bounced around them. But it was wild, man. It was wild. Again, we'll post the link to the full interview here. We'll post the link in the description box so you guys can go check it out yourself. And yeah, man, I just don't see how, that interview, I don't see how he comes back. Like, I don't care what we get for him, man. There's no way he can come back here. Even if we don't get any assets back or any pieces back, and we got to give up both of those draft picks, first-round draft picks, I just don't see how you bring that man back, He doesn't seem like he wants to be here at all. And then he kind of took shots at the organization because he talked about how he's never had the problems that he's had here in any other organization, any of his other organizations. They've always received him. They've always understood that it was bigger than basketball with him. They always understood this. They always understood that. He said that. He's never had any other problems in any of the other organizations he's been in. Only here. Lakers is the only organization he's had all these problems with. But last I checked, how many teams has Russell Westbrook played for in the last couple of years? How many superstars won it out? KD, Paul George, James Harden, they all left. They all left, and they left him where he was at, So it's wild, bro. It's wild. It's wild. It's wild. Just tough, man. I just wanted to get on here and break that down a little bit, talk a little bit about that. I would love to hear your comments about it. And again, we'll put the link to the entire exit interview, the entire press conference down below. And just all year long, the press conferences, man, they were just testy. He was defensive about everything. He took a lot of things the wrong way. And yeah, I just don't see how we bring Russell Westbrook back after this. Tough, tough, tough. But I'm about to get off here. It's 5 o'clock, or sorry, it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. So it's time for wrestling, my Monday Night Wrestling. So I'm about to watch that, and I would love to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, man, it's just tough. It's tough. It's tough. I don't see how we bring Russell Westbrook back, but I'm sure this is just the start of it. I'm sure it's going to be a lot more of this, a lot more stuff being said and coming out. But yeah, Russ says he's not he from day one he just feels that he wasn't welcomed here, and from day one he had to prove himself to everyone. He said that his past his past should speak for itself. You know, he shouldn't have to prove anything, but from day one he's had to prove everything here. You know, since he's been here. So yeah, and it's bigger than basketball. He's bigger than basketball. Basketball doesn't matter. And then you rewind back to where he said he had no expectations coming here. So why you even come here with no expectations, man? You're putting on the purple and gold. You don't know what our fan base is about. Oh, and then he said he never dreamed of playing for the Lakers. They asked him about that. They asked him, you grew up in LA and you were at the parades, you know, and your dream was to play for the Lakers. He didn't even let him finish. He cut him off and said he never dreamed of playing for the Lakers. Never. He's never dreamed. This was never his dream. So, bro, I don't know. I guess the man was forcibly, the way he's talking, he was forcibly traded here and, you know, had to prove himself here and wasn't given a fair shake here. So, it is what it is. The Russ experiment, it has to be over. There's no way it continues. But, yeah, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. And, again, we'll put the link to the full exit interview down below. Thank you guys for tuning in. Purple and gold till we die. Purple and gold we ride. I bleed purple. My heart beats gold. It's Lakers over everything. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.